Okay, I'm going to attempt to change the spark plug boots on a 2013 Ford Fusion. This one has the 1.6. So I would imagine the process is the same with the 1.6 or the 2 liter or even the 1.5. But so we're going to take off the cover here. Lay that down. So the boots, so these here are the ignition coils. So there's 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 of them. What we're going to do is that, as you can see, that there is a let's go to this one here. So this one, we're going to pop out that little pin, and we're going to pop it down, and then the clip will come off. And then these, I think, are 8mm bolts. We're going to take those out. We're going to pull out the whole coil, and we're going to replace the boot. And this is kind of what the replacement boot looks like right here. So for example, I got mine from Napa. It's a Belden product. So we're going to attempt to do that. So right now the plan is to take the connector off, the 2 bolts, and then we'll pull the coil out, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to pull that tab there, and we're going to press down, and it just comes out like so, like that. So we're going to only do one at a time here. I don't want to take them all out and do it. Then we're going to take a 8mm. We're going to pop these off here. Just gonna do it by hand. Here's one. There's 2. So there's no washer on these, it's just the bolt. Now we're gonna pop that sucker off. And as you can see, the boot that we're gonna replace is right there. And the spark plug is just down in that hole there. Okay, so I've pulled out the boot right here. So this is the boot. See that this is the big coil that's going to go inside this boot here, right? So probably about there. But then also there's a fuse right here. So the fuse had gone in this way. Fuse went in like that, and then the boot went in like so. So when these come with a fuse, as you can see. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the new fuse in here, and then I'm going to take this coil, I'm going to put it through this end here, because this is the end that gets attached to your spark plug right here. You can see it like that. You can see the difference on the 2 ends there. This is the end that goes on to here. I didn't notice any grease or anything on here, so it doesn't look like it requires any dielectric grease or anything to go onto here. So we'll just leave it dry as the way it came out. But I am going to probably put some dielectric grease on here because the spark plug, just to keep a good connectivity between the spark plug and the coil here. Okay, so I'm going to put the fuse in here. So I took off the fuse and the coil here. There is a bit of residue from the tape that was on here, so I just kind of used my fingernail to get rid of the the glue residue that was on here because it was still pretty kind of tacky. So we're going to dump that in here. It doesn't matter which way the fuse goes. And this one here, this coil, it doesn't matter which end this goes because these are the same length. So you see, we'll just kind of do a quick estimate here. Take it up to there. As you can see, it's the same length between the thick parts there, so that doesn't matter. So I'm going to put some dielectric grease on just one end of it, just a little bit, just kind of around there, and then I'm going to dunk that into here. And then we'll put that onto this part, and that should be it for that. So as you see, all I did was I put the dielectric grease on here, and I just squeezed the tube, and then just kind of like that. So there we go. So as it touches the spark plug down below, it'll have good contact with the spark plug, because the spark plug will have some dielectric grease on there as well. Alright, so I put the coil in with the dielectric grease side going on this end here, and now I'm going to just put these two together. I'll see if I can do that while holding the phone. Might be a little bit tricky here. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. Just like that. Then you look in it, you can see there's the coil. Coil's not going anywhere, it's stuck in there. If I shake it, it's not moving anywhere. So that's how you change the boot on a 2013 Ford Fusion. Again, this will probably work for the 1.5, the 2 liters, the other, the other EcoBoost engines as well. Imagine they're all the similar design and probably same kind of concept with any other vehicle as well, from 2000 and up, I would think. And then we'll just bolt it back into place, and then we'll move on to the next. Alright, so I pushed it back into place. So I'm going to put the screws back into there, but one thing I will say that I recommend having on hand, if you don't have it now, maybe get one, is a magnet. So I've got this telescopic magnet here, because even if you're doing something so simple, sometimes the bolt, it'll just kind of fall out on you and then go somewhere. So it's easier to grab it with a magnet. It can fall into any little hole you can think of. You can just cram it into anywhere. It's been very helpful to have on hand. I always make sure to carry it, make sure that I have it on me whenever I do engine work, because otherwise you're playing plinko. So let's try getting this in. So we'll just get them into finger tight. Grab the other screw, and like so. Get them in. And then we'll grab the ratchet for the socket and put those in. So, and you'll kind of want to push it down while you're screwing it down, okay? And then you'll put the cap back on, the connector, I mean, back on. And what I'll also recommend is that when you tighten them, you just need to do them hand tight like that. It doesn't need to be like cranked on with 200 foot-pounds of torque or anything like that. And then you just kind of take that, put that back in place, snap that back on, and then what I recommend doing is to start it every time you do it, just to make sure that it sounds fine. That that if it sounds off, then you know that this didn't get seated properly. So it's easier to do that if you were to take them all at once, and then you go to put them all back in at once. You don't know which one that you have messed up on, right? If it doesn't sound right. So then I'm going to go and start it, and then should sound good. A few things I'll also make note of here is that you should also, if you're going to change your boots and you haven't changed your spark plugs yet, I would do that at the same time there, right? And so you just need to get your spark plug wrench down there. You're going to need a long extension because it goes in there quite deep. But I would change that as well. The boot, my car's got about 250,000 kilometers, so that's about 55,000 miles. So I would, if you haven't changed it for that long, I would definitely recommend just changing it, because they get kind of beaten by the heat and stuff like that. They'll start to get some wear and tear on them right here. So you can see how this one here, it was eventually going to start to go anyways, and then what'll happen is it'll melt and then get up inside there, and then it'll start affecting your spark plug too, and your spark. So yeah, that's it.